news reports and commentary. I'm Anya Kovac, and the studio producer is Lyudmila Sudakova. Zone in the Donbas region, the intensity of attacks from the side has increased. According to the counter-terrorist operation headquarters, the situation was aggravated in the evening of July 24th. Russia-backed militants have opened fire targeting the Ukrainian army positions 27 times. 3 Ukrainian soldiers were killed. No fatal casualties registered, informed Defense Ministry spokesman Colonel Andriy Lysenko. He also noted that the majority of the attacks occurred in the Luhansk sector of defense.
So that was the Tivdio V115. Let's check out the same signal on a Tecsun PL380 now and see if it's better.
Approach the Ukrainian army positions in other sectors of defense, particularly in the areas of Stolitsa Luhanska, Novoidarsk, and Popasna, the enemy was using light armament, said Defense Ministry spokesman Colonel Andriy Lysenko. The current situation in the Donetsk sector, as in the previous days, is unstable in Avdiivka and Shakhta-Butivka, where the Russian occupation forces used mortars. Another attack took place on the Sokoldarsk Bulge. In the Mariupol sector, militants intensified their activity along the whole contact line. The use of infantry fighting vehicles, mortars, and light armament was registered. Among other hot spots are the Donetsk and Shortwave. Kurt Volker, the U.S. State Department's Special Representative for Ukraine, has stated that the issue of providing weapons for protection against Russia-backed militants in Donbas is under active consideration by Washington, D.C. In an interview with the BBC, he commented that such a step would not be provocative but would help change Moscow's approach instead. Defensive weapons, ones that would allow Ukraine to defend itself and to take out tanks, for example, would actually help to stop Russia threatening Ukraine, said Volker. He also added that he wouldn't predict the further development of the situation, and that, I quote, "It's a matter for further discussion and decision, but I think the argument that it would be provocative to Russia or emboldening of Ukraine is just getting it backwards," unquote. On July 23rd, Kurt Volker has had a visit in the Donbas region, where he declared that the USA is aware of aggression backed by Russia in the east of Ukraine. You are tuned to Radio Ukraine International, and we continue our program, Ukrainian Perspective.
So that, once again, is going back now to the Tivdio V115, WRMI 11580 with Radio Ukraine.
The group arrived in the port city of Odessa with a visit. The British Royal Navy's Duncan destroyer and the frigate of the Turkish Navy Yildirim moored in Odessa port. These military ships, which are part of the permanent NATO naval group, are based in the Mediterranean Sea. According to Ukrainian Navy press service, the program of the ship's stay provides for protocol meetings of the command of the night, commander of the Ukrainian Navy, visits to ships by residents and guests of the city, friendly meetings with Ukrainian military sailors. Next, the commander of the naval group, James Morley, and crews of the ships. The party stressed the importance of developing cooperation between the Ukrainian and the navies of the partner countries in terms of strengthening the security at sea and in the region, reads the statement. Commodore James Morley underlined at a press conference that this visit is destined to show the support for Ukraine and to help sustain peace not only in the Black Sea, but in the whole region. He noted that the main threat for the Black Sea region is currently seen in the actions of the Russian Federation, which is building up military presence.
The increased military activity of Russia and the sea close to the territory of NATO's allies is a cause for concern.
James Morley. During the visit, the American and Turkish military seamen will hold joint training with staff of naval forces of Ukraine. For 2 days, the ships will be open to the general public, and Odessa residents as well as the guests of the city will have an opportunity to communicate with British military sailors and find out more about NATO's activities.
We can see that the Tivdio V115 is actually very good, but noisier than the Tecsun 380, which is of course a radio that is more expensive, $30 more expensive. So we're comparing here a $20 radio versus a $50 radio, so which is a little unfair, but it shows the difference.
The Ukrainian Cossack state and its further struggle for liberty and independence. Ivan Mazepa began his career in the royal service of Polish King Jan Kazimierz. After he came back in Ukraine, Mazepa became the commander of the Hetman's Guard and subsequently the general escort for Hetman Petro Doroshenko. Historical scientists claim that Doroshenko commended Mazepa's brilliance, delegating him to lead important diplomatic missions. In 1687, when Mazepa was 50 years old, he was elected Ukrainian hetman by the Cossacks' leadership. Historians named the period of his hetmanship ruins, as the remains of the state created by Bogdan Khmelnytsky were crumbling. Then the newly elected hetman Mazepa started with its reconstruction, strengthening his power as hetman, striving for the stabilization of political and economic life, and heeding to the development of culture. Ivan Mazepa nurtured his idea of independent Ukraine that he wasn't destined to fully implement. During the war between Russia and Sweden, he openly supported the Swedish side, hoping for their victory to help Ukraine escape the influence of the authoritarian regime of Peter the Great. All of the Swedish-Ukrainian forces have lost, whereas Russia subsequently portrayed Mazepa as traitor in the historical materials. Ivan Mazepa's contribution in Ukraine's renaissance, its cultural and economic development, is known to be very significant. Ihor Mazepa, the head of Coordinating Council of the international organization Family of Mazepa, speaks.
Іван Мазепа є прикладом патріота України, який все своє життя намагався створити українську державу.
Ivan Mazepa is an exemplary figure of Ukrainian patriotism. Throughout his life, he was trying to create the state of Ukraine. Opinions about this figure may differ, but partly they reflect the results of 300 years of Russian influence, where
So it's very difficult to, of course, via a microphone with a camera to really make an idea. But I can tell you that PL380 has an edge, has more sensitivity and less noise. And you know what? I think it's not that it necessarily has more sensitivity, but it has mostly less noise than the Tivdio V115. But tonight we're going to do a few videos comparing different signals with both, and it's up to you to decide what is the case. And both, by the way, are on telescopic antenna. No improvements of any kind, no big and fancy antennas, just telescopic antenna receiving Radio Ukraine via WRMI on 11580.
their intentions to create a museum of Cossack glory in the future. And that was Ukrainian Perspective, a program of news, reports, and commentary. I'm Anna Kovacs, and the studio producer is Lyudmila Sudakova.